start recording and remove these and switch this on and go. So all right, we are here, and this is obviously my like most comfortable subject when I really don't have to kind of prepare anything to teach you this, like, so it's really easy on me. I still want to have like slides and stuff, so I will do this, but this is my like I mean, for me this is like riding the bicycle, right? And obviously it's my favorite thing, right? It's my favorite thing in the world. Like yesterday was the Krishenia of Links, and Ilya was there because Ilya is the godfather of Links. So we were I mean, we were like, you know, talking. We had a party. It was also a celebration of my 10 years of marriage, so it was all like in one go. And Ilya and I were talking, and in the end of the night we were just saying to each other, imagine Ilya and I built this room where you are. Ilya and I have like done hundreds of shows, have been working actively as sound engineers for 15 years kind of, and you know, and in the end of the night we were looking at each other in the face and just saying like because we trash talk a lot about our clients, like we hate our clients and how bad they are and like and all of this, but in the end we were just like looking at our faces, and both our faces were shining, and we were saying like, man, but it doesn't matter what happens, like recording a drum kit is always such a joy, you know, and it really is. Like, I mean, I you know, this fun this joke which is like, look yourself, you know, there is this photo of like, I don't know, one guy looking at his wife with a lot of love, you know, and like, look yourself a friend that looks at you, find yourself a friend that looks at you like this guy's looking at his wife. So I mean, I just want to tell you, find yourself a job that makes you feel how I feel every time I record drums, because I mean, it doesn't matter how many times I repeat it, you know, every time I'm like, yeah, like this is so awesome. And I felt this since I was a kid. Like from the first time I came into a recording studio, it was like, for me it was like for love at first sight, and I knew that this was what I was going to do. I just didn't know how, but somehow it's happening. And like I told you in foundation, like, I mean, in last year there were a lot of things that I was telling you and talking to you about that only now I can fully you know, express, because we're here and we're in the studio finally. And I was telling you that I'm trying to keep this tradition alive of like the recording studio. It doesn't matter if you're just a pop artist who, well, not just, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a pop artist who just want to record vocals, that's what I wanted to say, or something like that. I mean, I think that the recording studio is the place to make music for millions of reasons. I mean, first is outside of your home, and then you can just like, I don't know about you, but for me working at home it's cool, but it's, I like more to go somewhere and work, you know, and then come back. Secondly, because it's like acoustically treated place, you know, where your focus can like really concentrate, and your attention doesn't go to a million places. And like you will see in some examples I will show you today, when there is money, a recording studio is like something that is like a very, very special place, and they become legendary points in the world, you know. I will tell you a little anecdote about that and all of that. So anyways, I mean, I'm super excited and super happy that this is starting, and I will try to make this as interesting as I can. It's a bit hard to do this lecture because we need to practice, all of us, and you are a lot. So, I mean, it's hard. Like, we will have to make like little ocherits or whatever, or like cues, and then you will try this, and then you will try this, and you will try this. And so that means that some of you will be sometimes not doing something. So it's a bit hard to make this lecture, and I'll do my best to try to make it as interesting as possible. But last year, I mean, we had a blast, and the one who learned the most was me, actually, in last year, because there are a whole bunch of things that I always thought like, oh man, I really want to do this in the studio, like I want to make this test, but clients don't pay you to make those tests. I mean, they pay you to record, and you are not gonna be like, wait, let me try like 15 positions of the snare microphone. Like they're like, chuck, like, you know, I'm paying for this. But in this course, I can do all of those things, and we will repeat that this year as well. Like, we will be very boringly listening to a million of things, like, and we will generate like a lot of samples, you know, that you can take. I mean, the samples are not gonna be useful musically for you. They're mostly so you can hear and learn to hear. Obviously, that I'm teaching you 3 courses this semester: mixing, технически слуха и studio recording. This is an elective, right? So some of the things that you will learn here with me will be repeated in other courses, maybe, because these are things that I think that everybody has to know, right? So, but this is an elective, so not everybody's coming to this lecture. So So there is a deep connection between Ilya Garkhadatsky lecture that you will meet him on Friday, and mine. Of course, because in there Ilya will give you like the theory of the things that we will do here, and here I'll give you the practice of the things that Ilya will tell you. And Ilya and I are quite synchronized. Like we had this year, we had meetings like we had like kind of 2 meetings on groups of subjects, you know, like the technical subjects. And so we met like Ilya, Anatoliais, and I, and we discuss all our programs. And it's like, in here I'm gonna talk about this, so you don't talk about this, please. So they should be integrated with each other. But anyways, I'm just preparing you that there will be some things that we will repeat, and that's one. And the second one is yeah, I mean, let's move on. Yeah. So this is called Recording Studio Project, and I put you here a little GIF of I think that's it's Abbey Road actually. I know it's Abbey Road because of this like speaker that is like a bomb there, or like a mine or something. It looks like that. Well, of course, I mean, I'm a super fan of huge studios and very big places, and this is what makes my world tick, you know. So I want you to identify the basic parts of the course. I want you to we are gonna start a big topic that it's not gonna end today. I want to introduce to the idea of how important it is to have like a good source for a recording, and I also want you to know what's going to be the task that you're going to do by the end of the semester, because it's really important, because the whole course is going to be built around that task. Well, not at the end of the semester, at the end of the year. You will see we have a lot of homeworks and tasks and things, and you will be using the studio. I mean, it's not like you will be. You have to use the studio to do those tasks. Like, you don't have the option to not use the studio for those tasks. So we will introduce a course, talk about learning outcomes, course flow, coursework, and we will talk about the recording studio as such. What do you guys think? I mean, what are you expecting from this course? Where do you imagine that can happen when the year ends? Have any imagination?
I want to learn how to install mics.
Put microphones.
To detect frequency conflicts.
To find frequency conflicts.
I can do this. I can't use compressor.
Yeah.
I know how it works, but
Yeah.
I can't use it because it's like I don't know where and how offensive. I don't know how it should be, like how aggressive.
Understood.
What I need to do, like parallel mixing of it. I don't really get this
Okay.
on a vocal especially.
Cool. So in this case, like you have, like I was telling you, there are these 3 topics, like recording studio techniques. What's the name? I forgot. Развитие технического слуха, and mixing and mastering. So some of the things you said will happen in the other courses. In this course, we will definitely learn how to put microphones and how to move around the studio and all of that. Anybody else has more expectations?
I guess to feel free in preparing all
Mm-hmm.
this stuff.
Yep. You can always talk in Russian, like if you're tired or something. I really don't mind. And also, if you are like, I mean, my desire is not like make out of all of you sound engineers. That's not what I want. I want to help you, those of you who want to be a sound engineer, to help you to be a sound engineer. Those of you who don't want to be a sound engineer, I want a couple of things. I want you to be able to go to a recording studio and figure out that this guy or this lady is ripping you off. Do you know this word in English, ripping you off? Like when somebody is stealing money from you. Like, I mean, it's like, I'm kind of kidding here, but it's like, I mean, that you go to a studio and you're like, and you start seeing, I don't know, that the person is taking 5 hours to put one mic, and I'm kidding right now, but then you're like, hey, like, I mean, I know how the studio kind of operation works, and you're kind of effing me over here. That's one thing I want you to get from this course if you're not an engineer. And I also want you to, this is gonna, if you're a songwriter and you're here, this is going to also augment your songwriting capabilities, I think, because I mean, sometimes I'm here sitting with a client and I think about an idea that that can be achieved in the studio, and if I wouldn't have the studio I couldn't achieve that idea, and because I have the studio I can think about that idea. Like if I wouldn't have the studio I wouldn't be thinking about that idea, something like that. So it just expands your musical palette, you know. And the other thing is like, you know, in the movies there are sometimes like this like post-apocalyptic scenario, and there is this old guy who survived the nuclear explosions and stuff, and this guy is like, you know, a tough badass guy, and he's kind of, or a lady, you know, tough badass lady or badass guy, and this guy is like telling you like how things were done in the past, you know, and kind of keeping this thing alive of whatever it is, that thing, building cars or whatever. So or running a recording studio or something. So I also want to pass you that torch, you know. It's like, hey, this is the tradition, you know. I know that everything I do here, it can be done with some VSTs, 100% of it, but I mean, in my opinion, it sucks to do it like that, because it's kind of like, you know, there are these bicycles that have like a screen, and like stationary bicycles, and they have a screen, and you're there like, oh yeah, I'm cycling in South Africa right now. It's like, okay. I mean, it's great. I feel the same. I mean, it's like doing all of those things in a VST or something is kind of like good, but whatever. I find it boring. So yeah, let's move on. So we will be introducing you to studio resources, techniques. We'll practice and tips and discuss some tips, and we will be mostly based in the studio and in small groups. So it's entirely practically focused, this course, so there will be very rarely, I mean, there will be some talk like this, presentations, but it would be mostly practice. Yeah, there will be background materials, and you will work together in the realization of a recording studio project at the end of the year, like a big recording studio project. So the learning outcomes, this is very small, I know, so sorry. The fundamental principles of, by the end of this year, you would be able to understand the fundamental principles underlying core audio production technology. So, I don't want to teach you how to use this preamp. Like, I want to teach you to understand all preamps, you know, that exist. I don't want to teach you to use this sound card. I want to teach you to find yourself in any situation, and then and these are the Argenies, by the way. That both of them are there. Come in, guys. Come in. Быстренько. Guys, привет. So this is Vanya and Danya. You guys need the studio, by the way? Нет? Играй, не мешаешь меня, серьезно. Мы через 45 минут, мы на пятом будем. Ты начнешь сетапить, и когда ты готов, мы будем уже на пятом. So this is Vanya and Danya. They are engineers in the studio. They arrived to our lives. They arrived to our lives just like, hey guys, can I kind of work here? You know, like many of us, you know, they arrived to us like, can I work here? And we were like, no. And then they ask again, like, can I work here? And we're like, no. And then they ask again, like 10 times. And then it was like, yeah. I mean, actually, it was not exactly like that. It was quite quickly. Yeah. Yeah, work a lot for free. Yeah, absolutely. And now they are engineers here, and they're amazing. Like, well, you saw Vanya, Danya in the show, right? On Metanoia. He was doing the live sound in the, in the Plashatka. And yeah, when you book sessions in the studio, they will be here helping you out. And I mean, and also like part of this course also happens with them, because it's not like they're going to be sitting there like and not doing anything. Like if you have a question, they will help you, and they will recommend you their own ideas, techniques. Like every engineer has something different to do, so they will help you out. All right, so yeah, guys, just come in calmly and set up anytime you want. So when this course ends, you will be able to get like the fundamental principles. Both. A third one, Anton, that is not here. A third one, Anton, that is not here. So it seems like it's not the one you want. But he's nice too. He speaks Chinese. That's a cool thing, right? I guess. No, he's actually one of my best friends, to be honest. He's one of my best friends. The guy who is gonna start working in MMS. I really love this guy, and he's really great. And it's funny, like I've been trying to get him to work in MMS in all the positions possible, and HR already has a meme. They joke with me, like when they see me, like, you send us this Verindiakin guy again, like, come on. It's just like I really believe in him. Anyways, so fundamental principles. When this course ends, I want you to have to know principles, because what happens to me when I go to a new recording studio is like I never use that gear, but I know what to do. I mean, I just like, okay, it's like a different bicycle. You know, you don't know how to ride one bicycle. You just know how to ride bicycles. So, associated terminology and constituent functions of audio devices, sound capture and routing. So I want you to know what some words mean that are connected to audio gear. And also I want you to know what are the function of some of those audio gears and capturing sound, the capacity to capture sound that they have, and connections, routing in between things. And also I want you to be able to record accurately a variety of acoustic sounds and sources within studio and non-studio environments. So I want to be able to record accurately. I know that something like a recording is a super, I don't know, like relative thing. It's like, what is a good recording of an acoustic guitar? What is a good recording of a drum kit? What is a good recording of an amp? It's a semi-relative thing, but you will see in развитие технического слуха, you're gonna see that there are some levels of objectivity sometimes. Like there is obviously like a bad recording, like that thing exists, you know, and there are actually quite measurable aspects, you know, of a recording that will make it a bad recording. And I'm going to tell you in advance of what that is, for example, something called the signal to noise ratio. Like, we're going to be discussing this a lot. The signal to noise ratio, we're going to be exploring this topic individually, but so you have an idea. Right now, Vanya and Danya are going to start playing, and that your signal is my voice, and now they become the noise. And so a recording needs to have a good relationship between the thing that you actually want and everything else. So, if, for example, the noise of a recording can be something that is in the room, or it can also be the equipment. I mean, for example, when you're using a tape machine, like the tape machine has its own internal inherent noise, right? The hum of it. And where you're using this preamp, like it has its own noise. And when you're using a sound card, it has its own noise. And so the goal of, if recording would be a video game, the video game is about maximizing the signal and minimizing the noise, and you do everything you can to do that. For example, when you're recording a drum kit and you have a snare and a hi-hat, think about it. There is a microphone in the snare, right? And the hi-hat is not what you want to capture with the microphone of the snare, right? You want to capture the snare. You don't want to capture the hi-hat there. So the hi-hat becomes the noise in the recording of the snare, but the hi-hat is a part of your drum kit, and you don't want to eliminate it, right? So then each microphone has a signal to noise ratio, right, in the whole recording. So it's really like this video game is to maximize the signal and minimize the noise. So sometimes you end up building some construction around the microphone of the snare with some, like, you grab a sweater and something and put it there and put some like piece of cardboard, so the amount of hi-hat that arrives to it is less. We're bombarded by all the signals all the time. Then those signals are becoming noise, right, in our lives, like. And everything is like digital and not touchable and far away, and that's something I love. It's like the way to fix problems here is like with a with a sweater and a jacket and just like some like box or something, whatever. It's really like hands-on thing. So we will explore all of that. So record accurately a variety of acoustic sound sources within audio, within studio and non-studio environments, and edit and manipulate audio recordings in order to enhance sonic quality. So we will be doing a little bit of editing and stuff, and just learning how to put things together. So this means everything that I wrote behind means I want you to understand how things are recorded. I want you to understand the role of technology in this process. I want you to be able to navigate client relationships successfully. We will talk a lot about this. You know, I like this topic, and we will talk a lot about it. I want you to understand how to use audio technology. I want you to fall in love with the art of audio sculpting or recording something. And I want you to use the studio as an instrument for your creations. Like, because for me, I mean, when I sit here, it's like I feel that all of this is an instrument to me. Like, and all of these things, I just grab them and put them into my productions whenever I can. And I want you to achieve advanced sonic literacy. So that's some word I kind of created there myself, but that's so you can know a lot about these concepts. So, okay, what's going to happen next? We're going to start from the coursework. I mean, the coursework means the project, okay? We're going to see the project that we're going to do in the end, and then we're going to break it down back, like from that to the most basic component, and then so it's going to be very practice-oriented. well, I mean, this is from the old version of this course. Run the process of recording something in the school and in the studio. In the past, the first lecture of this was in the school, and we were like 3 weeks in the school, and then we were coming here. But I thought, like, come on, like, no, just go straight and just go in there. So we will listen to great recordings. We will discuss gear and instruments. We will discuss remarkable sound engineers too. We will see differences between things. We will learn how to be creative with gear. We will not learn how to mix and master because we will learn this in another course. And we will read about music and sound, and we will discuss a lot. So, wow, this is really impossible to see for you, but I'll tell you kind of what's happening here. This is my lesson plan for the semester 1. So we will be seeing sources, and this is kind of like the first weeks. Then we will be seeing the tools, like Imina. We will be seeing signal flow and recording to the tape machine. There's a tape machine on the Piatti, and it really is broken and it sucks and it would sound like shit. But I just want you to feel a little bit like how it looks like this thing. I mean, I'm honest. Like I wish it will not, but we haven't repaired it. We will see. I don't even know if it works, but I want to try it. And it's also like a good case of signal flow. Like if I say signal flow, do you know what I'm saying? Do you understand what that means? This is a really important concept that we need to have clear from the day one. Does somebody want to give it a try to this word? What signal flow means? Yeah. To point B. So in sound engineering, there are quite a lot of like very precise sentences to describe some things. And sometimes I joke about these sentences because it's a bit funny that we have like special names for everything. But signal flow is something that like you really need to use this jargon, you know. When you sit down in a studio and you're like, okay, I mean, because this is super simple setup. It's like you turn up the volume and there it is, you know. But when you're using a 96 channel console and then maybe you want to hear the drums in channel 44, you need to understand the basic principles of signal flow. It's like how to measure a signal, where it is. For example, all my recordings, let's say on this weekend, on Sunday, I'm going to record some drums. Actually, it would be a full live here in Studio A. And I will spend 3 hours of the session with the speakers off. Like, I will not even be listening to signals. I will be looking at them. I would be just measuring them in a meter. And I would be seeing, oh, look, here it is. Now it's here. Now it's in Pro Tools. And I have a very meticulous way of like knowing, okay, where the signal was originated. It was originated in the room. Where's the microphone that is capturing it? It's here. Great. In which channel that microphone is? In which channel? I mean, in the room. I will show you now what I mean. In the snake of the live room. Which channel is there? Okay. Then in which preamp it is? It's here. And then in which channel is in the sound card? It's here. And so we're gonna see that very carefully. And so I'm gonna put you some challenges. Like for example, I will reconnect something quickly, and I'll ask you, where's the signal? And then you'll be like, I don't know, and you'll have to find it and start thinking like that. So we're gonna do signal flow. Then we're gonna explore like a very basic first technique of recording that is called Glyn Johns drum recording. It's like, I mean, the Glyn Johns was a producer that did. He was the person who produced most of the Led Zeppelin records. And there's a famous story that one day he left the microphones in some, like, I mean, he was kind of like preparing something, and the microphones were there put in some weird position, and then they just went and recording something accidentally with that, and they were like, and he was like, that's amazing. And so this became something kind of like called the Glyn Johns recording technique, where it was something that came out of an accident. And it's a way of recording a drum kit with 4 microphones that is really good. Like, it's really simple, and actually most Led Zeppelin records were recorded like that. And I mean, I will kind of put you on the task of recording something with that technique. It's kind of like a weird position. There will be a lecture about that. Yeah, it's like one microphone, it's near the floor tom, and another microphone is parallel to the snare, and then one kick mic, and that's it. And it sounds really cool. Like when I do production with my clients and I want to make a fast setup so I can play, I just put like Glyn Johns, and you will see. There will be a lecture about this, and you will see it in close inspection. So we will do Glyn Johns. Then we will be seeing how the position of the instrument in the room affects the recording. So you will be seeing like we will be doing shootouts like position A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then see like holy shit, like how would my album would have sounded if I would have left the drum kit here, like, and you will see it's brutal difference. And we will do these experiments in Studio A and in Studio B. So we will be jumping from both studios so you can have a difference. Then at this point, after I show you how the position of something in the room affects the recording, I'm gonna stop for a moment and I'm gonna take us to the end of the course, and I mean for a moment, and I'm gonna record a big live band. Like, I mean, I'll find something big. I don't know, like maybe 40 channels, or no, I don't have it right now capacity of recording for the channel, but 24 channels or something. And we will make a big recording so you can see kind of like how it's all gonna look in the end, but you don't have to wait till the end of the course to look at that. And then we will go back after we do this big live. We will go back and then we will start looking at stereo microphone techniques. Like, you will learn all of them that there exist. There are like I don't know if all of them, but there are like 20 techniques or something that we will see, and we will explore them all and hear them. And that's the first semester, kind of like it ends. In the first semester, you will be after that, you will be like, okay, I can make a recording with one mic and I can make a recording with two mics, like that. That's we're gonna be 6 months just talking about that. But there is a famous joke of sound engineers. Maybe I have told it to you, I don't remember. But the joke is that two sound engineers murders some client that they were hating, right? Obviously, and they are sent to prison for 30 years, because they murder somebody. And the day they come out, I hope you can get the nuance of the joke. The day they come out from prison, the one engineer at the studio are like, yeah, but I think the snare, it was not well tuned. Like, like you can sit down for 30 years in a fucking prison and like and still never finish this conversation. So there is another dark joke of this. It's about bass players and drummers. It's like it's very short joke. You know this joke? Yeah, it's like two bass player and drummer. They decide to commit suicide together, and so they go like, okay, let's jump from a building. So they couldn't be together even in death. It's like, come on, bro, like fucking, you just had to land on the same time. Okay, so so that was semester one. It's kind of like that, and the the homeworks that you will do, the projects that you will be doing in semester one, are these ones. Like the first one is called Glyn Johns. So you will make a Glyn Johns. Actually, it's not the first one. The first one is called one mic recording. So I mean, you can invite 20 elephants and put them in the room. I don't care. You can record a whole zoo if you want, but it has to be with one mic that you're recording. So you will have to, all your equalization and position and everything, it has to be one mic. Like, so if you don't like how it sounds, you need to move that mic, pull it further back, whatever. And the second thing you will do is like the Glyn Johns technique that I'll show you, like, and you will make a little recording with some drum kit. And then there will be a thing that you will do, which is to record with stereo microphone techniques. And then at the end of the semester, you will have to submit me. It's like a PDF, in which you will make an analysis, like of like, hey, I used these 5 techniques, and I like them because of this, and that, and this is the characteristics of it. It will be like a scientific paper kind of thing, like analysis of why do you like that stereo technique, and etc. And you will make the recording, and you can choose whatever you want to record, like. And so I want you guys to, about the studio usage and stuff like that, like I want you guys to be as cheeky and as sneaky as you can, to squeeze as many hours as you can. Like, I really want this, so you will find creative ways to do this. Everybody has done this in the past, and I'm sure you will too. So wait, I think I'm missing. I need to open my lesson plans for a second, because I just realized that it seems like I'm missing one slide here. Where are you going? I don't know. Here it is. Some glitch. This is semester. I repeated semester 1 twice. Genius. Yeah, I think I need to just 1 second load my lesson plans here. It would be really fast, even though this computer is a bit slow. But let's see if I can do that, because my semesters too is quite different. Let me just sort that out, and then I'll come back. Yeah, I'm just fixing this thing, and we'll be back to the stream / recording soon. Have a limitation, and they cannot just provide infinite hours for everybody. So that's the first semester. Just a second. So you can see. And then the second semester, we will stop. I mean, in the second semester, we will then. I mean, the goal of the second semester is that you make a large recording project. So you're gonna have to record. I'm gonna ask you to record. Like, I'm gonna put you a list of things. It's like drums, bass, guitars, vocals, and other instrument. Like, I mean, it's kind of like 5 different sources, and you have to record, like, imagine it has to be one song that contains all of that. So that's like, Hertfordshire was asking students in a whole year to, at the end of the year, to do a stereo recording, because Hertfordshire moves way slower, because that's like how the British educational system is. And last year, I kind of like, what I did was that I asked my students to make a super huge multi-track recording, and what we sent to Hertfordshire was just like the stereo rooms of the drum recording, like. But my requirement was that we do a big stereo recording, like a big studio recording. So we're gonna do a large recording project at the end of the semester too. And that large recording project, again, you have to do 5 like istochniki, big ones, and yeah, you have to do that. And before that, there is something I'm calling the White Stripes recording. Like, do you remember the band, the White Stripes? So I'm gonna ask you to make a recording which is like just drums and one other element, like drums and guitars, or drums and bass, or drums and synths. It's just 2 elements. And before that, we're gonna do like a little bit of a critical listening exam. So we are going to generate a lot of samples here in the class, and we're gonna be, like I told you, we're gonna put this. Imagine that this is the drum kick, like the kick of the drum kit, and we're gonna put the mic here, and then we're gonna put the mic here, and then we're gonna put the mic here, and then you will hear like tuk tuk tuk, and then you will have to comment like, okay, this is a better recording than that one. So there would be an exam like that. And so what are we gonna do in the second semester? We have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of microphone positions. Then we will do a full drum rec, like a full drum recording. Then we will do recording amps. Then we will do recording vocals, percussion, and others. And then we will do something that's connected to what Timofey asked before about equalization and stuff. That we will do something called destructive processing. I think that lecture most likely will happen in major studios, in in ArtPlay. Yeah, because they have a lot of outboard gear, and I want to show you. But we can also do it here in the case. And then there will be a practice, and we will do your project reviews and all of that. So I will be evaluating attendance, like I really will. If somebody is online and is a part of this course, I will find a way to do that. But attendance gives you points in this course because, I mean, coming here has a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. If you're a songwriter and you're coming here, you can come here all the semester and watch everything, and you can do this. But I will not evaluate your project. Like maybe I will discuss it. Like we will see it. Like, oh, look what they did on the class. But I will not give you points and sit down and write a full report about what you did. Yeah, exactly. It's logical, and obviously, I mean, your attendance will not be evaluated. All of that. That's logical. So, again, we have Glyn Johns rec, one mic rec, stereo mics, exam critical listening, White Stripes rec, and large recording project. 10% everything. White Stripes is 20%, and large recording project is 30%. So half of your grades are the last two projects of the whole year, and the other half is like a bit of a build up across the year. Great, guys. Like as you may have noticed, like I'm really trying to make this course like as academic as I can. Not this course, but the whole bachelor's. So I will be using a lot of books. Remember that you saw that I sent a document with the reading. All those books are in the library, and you can go to the library and you can ask for PDFs, and they will scan them for you and send you these PDFs. So you can really do this. But I found a great website where you can download. They have 11 million PDFs, like, and I have found everything there. So I'll send you this website. I'll put it on the Telegram, so you can always like just go, and even though the library is there, I have been downloading the books myself just because I can copy paste and stuff. And we will use a lot a book called Modern Recording Techniques by Hubbard, David Miles, Runstein, and Robert E. We will use that book a lot. And I know that, I mean, it's like pretty obvious like where we are and stuff, like this is a control room, but I really like to use these resources because they have thought a lot about this and they will help us. So that's the introduction of the course. We got that out of the way. That's great. Now I want to talk a bit about the recording studio, like as such, like, you know, what is a recording studio and what are the for recording studio and what does it means to be in a recording studio. So this is coming from the Modern Recording Techniques book. So let's kind of see this text and pull it apart. So the commercial music studio is made of one or more acoustic spaces. So if you're like a scientist, sound engineer, you're thinking like that. It's like, oh, this is an acoustic space, and that's a second acoustic space. So, and these spaces are designed and tuned for the purpose of capturing the best possible sound on a recording medium. The other day, I know that Sasha Badrov is a fan of Doug DeMuro. Like it's like a car YouTuber. Like we share this passion. Anybody knows Doug DeMuro? It's like a car YouTuber. Last night I was watching some Doug DeMuro, and I was hearing the difference of the sound in my headphones between him being outside of the car and then him being inside of the car. Like I was focusing. Huh? Nah. I just love cars and. No. I'm just cars. It's not connected to sound. Doug DeMuro. Doug DeMuro. It's amazing, man. It's like it's my trash TV. You know, like everybody has their trash TV or trash YouTube, whatever. It's like Doug DeMuro. It's huge, man. It's like, and there is a Russian version of it. Like, I mean, there is somebody who is translating his videos. There is like Doug DeMuro по-русски. There is this thing. But anyways, back to this. I was last night watching some. It was like a review of a 2009 Porsche, like whatever. Like he just reviews cars, like dude, and he does it. Wait, I'll see it. Oh shit! I see. Like it kind of like disconnected itself from it. Let me just. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, sure. Just tell him that we'll be there in a second. I don't know what happened there, but I was kicked out. I was kicked out from my own Tak, go, 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 go. Camera is starting. This poor computer is suffering so much. This is too much for this. So I'm very it's very mysterious that that happened, but here it is. It's running now, the stream. It's a bit slow. Let me close this and close this. Poor computer. And close this. I think I can close this. Tak, I don't know. Yeah, Gleb is here. Hi, Gleb. Sorry, I don't know what happened, but there is a recording, so for sure. So you can check it out later. Wait. So let me just share here. Can you hear me, Gleb? I think I have the sound muted. Can you write me there? I see that you can hear me. You should be able to hear me. It should be working. Okay, so back to this. So I was watching. Let's refocus, guys, please. So I was watching this Doc DeMuro video yesterday, and Doc DeMuro. The cool thing about Doc is like, this is like zero complicated production. It's like everything is filmed with an iPhone, and it's just like this guy loves cars so much that, and I used to love cars a lot, and I stopped paying attention to cars, and then I landed in this YouTube channel, and he loves cars so much that I'm like, I just get excited with him. I'm like, holy shit, like this is amazing, and it's zero bullshit. That's why it's really cool. But the reason why I started talking about Doc DeMuro, apart from the fact that I wanted to share with you because he's great, is because last night I was hearing like him talking outside of the car and then coming inside of the car. And do you remember what we were saying yesterday in, I think it was yesterday, 2 days ago, in technical development of the ear, about talking inside a closed space and getting the reflections back, and how can this like really destroy a lot of information? Like I was hearing that this is called comp filtering. Like when I was watching Dr. Muir last night, I was just like listening to the comp filtering, like holy shit, like it's so obvious when you're inside a car, because it's such a small space and it's not acoustically designed, and signals are just bouncing back to the source all the time, and it kind of sounds like a little robot or something. When you focus on it, it's like a bit of a robotic voice. So when you hear something, you see, it's a studio. It's an acoustic space that is specially designed and tuned for the purpose of capturing sound in the best way. So you want to avoid things like that. You want to make a room that it's really like not returning sounds back to the source. And if you see this room, like we discussed like time we were here, actually it's quite, this room was designed by some punk dudes from Moscow in the 2010s. So it's not like we're scientists or something like that. But it sounds quite comfortable here. I don't know, it's like pleasant to the ear. Do you feel the same? Like when you're in here, it's kind of like, or do you feel like, yeah, it's pleasant. You don't feel, yeah, you don't feel, yeah, you don't feel the reverberations, and I don't know, I describe it like I feel as if the things I'm saying, well, I really feel that they're not coming back to me. Like I feel like they kind of like go and they don't come back. Like, but it's not only absorption, because there is diffusion too, like on the roof, on the materials. It's a combination of absorption and diffusion. No, just a second. There are, but they are just not coming back to you. Like those resonances are like circulating in the room, and they're not coming directly back to you, or they're coming later, so they don't get so blended with the original signal. Like that's the point. That's what I was trying to tell you yesterday about the car. Sorry, that was what I was saying yesterday. Now about source. But in here, you don't hear the reflections as being part of the original source. I mean, theoretically, because this room is far from being perfect. It's better than your room or something. Yeah, it's better than your classroom, but I mean, if you compare it with Serious Studio, is really crappy. Like, to be honest, like I'm clean about this to you. Like DTH Studios, like I mean, we play great music, but we'll not stand here. So this is a perfect German design. No, we're some bonus here, there's some here, and like, if you go to Instagram. Yeah, this thing, it's like Breaking Bad kind of thing. Well, a chemistry laboratory. Really. Like, it's like years ago. It was a little chemistry laboratory here, and so it was kind of like a lot. I mean, you're gonna now and you will have an idea of how it is. But this was kind of like a lot, and there's wall. It's like walls. No, we built this like we built 100% of everything you see here with a piece of wood, and then we built some side. Yeah, it's slowly we built them using the original roof of this long thing. Yeah, no, we made we put them, but we made this. For example, yeah, what? Yeah. Yeah, of course. Oh, traffic. Yeah, L01. Actually, you see the corner there? You see that the foam there in the corner? Like foam, pena. You see there is a pena at the top corner. That's like, I mean, I'm a really builder, like I'm a really bad builder myself. Yeah, so sometimes this finishing looks kind of crappy. You imagine that we was quite that, like, I mean, I had to the whole, see, there's another PN there. It's both like, whatever, a build can do, and I like, you know, just trying to go through like, and then somebody on Instagram was looking some phone, just, can you give me your phone once on Instagram? Go to DTH Studios. Go to the, you can give me one second, I want to say something. In the DTH Studios Instagram, you'll see there is like, there are playlists there. And there's like studio plays, and here there is a lot of it. Let me see this today. Like studio, we playlist how come to next like from look at the out with the diffuser, look the diffuser, and there's no diffuser, and some of the patches you will see paint or something look in there. We had the work there, and there is gonna be. That's why I'm showing you this. So there's gonna be blah 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 do ultra. Let's see, like this is a rewild day, so see, like, let's record this still 5 minutes later. Like when we arrive, see, like the moment we build the diffuser. You see, when we pull, so because we're clean like this guy and and this like there are the people make DTH like keywords making a construct and you will see this is more stuff. Wait, there is big list stroke here. And what here is like this is like a splitting out and in the world at the same time. It was the most like studio class day and then you see here is like a paying something. It is some down in the entry like all like this. It's like we had this laboratory of wooding there. Like we were around here. Yeah, it's like see building like you see like a gear cover. So in the construction process, you meant like it's what we need this diffuser and all that. I mean, it's all documented here, builders and the stuff. So I'm showing you this is that it was really much a DIY project, and that's why it's really perfect and amazing. But we're on hand, it's cool. So we want to build and using these rooms are structurally isolated or to keep sound from any room and being core. So you want to maximize signal to noise rate. I tell you hello, I didn't tell you hello. So this maximize signal to noise ratio. So a ratio in mathematics is like, for example, let's say I have 2 pizzas and 1 Coca-Cola. So for every 2 pizzas, for every Coca-Cola, 2 pizzas. So I have 2 tiny Coca-Cola over pizza. You understand that? So I have more pizza than Coca-Cola. More pizza than Coca-Cola. Like I have 1 ratio of 2 Coca-Cola for every Coca-Cola I have pizza. So this is for every decibel of signal, I have a amount of those of and you want that to maximize towards signal, not towards noise. So for example, say guys, the room is small and I get really distracted. I want to just get it's really small and I hear his word. So let's say I have a signal as decibels. Like your goal will be, and what's the number? But your goal would be or not like 0.1 decibel. So it's like a percent. You know. I know exactly. So no, don't let those numbers now. Don't let those numbers now because there's real numbers. I'm just saying, no, but it's like one maximum level of signal and then level of noise. And so you see that they start right now. You want to hear what they. It's just it's not perfect. And that's bad. That's bad because you're trying to focus on. Let's say they have a live thing like just maybe. You're trying to make a correction here in the ears. You're trying to how the air sounds. But you're hearing the bass. So have noise. Not in the recording, but in monitoring environment. Like you're trying to do something, the bounds stops from things. That's why we have to be super isolated. Like when you go to studio, you see you can hear what's happening live from control. It's a bad studio. Very much bad studio. It happened here. I'm lying you first that this is good studio. Still it, but it's a bad studio from the beginning because if they stay, you will hear them playing. No, not them. Yeah. See, like this jacket is not made. It's not made of. It's made of carton, express of carton and cotton. We'll see it in one. Of course, but then it's very expensive. I personally myself spent half a million rules in materials in this where you write like on my own like 500,000 rules of 600,000 rules, 5 years old. So I really like me. Doesn't buy some paint and buying acoustic foam and buying like audio extractors take all year so still soon. Like for example, this is probably for the first force, which is like every whole layer goes out trees. So in the winter it's brutally cold here. Like the world wind with like we have to buy an air extractor because I'm not close that because then nobody can breathe anything. So we have to buy an air extractor. Has thermostat and so we're lower than 5 degrees and the air extractor closes itself. Things like that. Guys, we're out of here, so it's our thing. Okay. Okay, let's move on. System delay separate in this sounds limiting another. So big or all, usually shows the phone, for the budget that they to be honest, because everyone wants to look fucking old or something, but separate you record many and are specific. And when you focus on a large rooms in general, because to be able to decide you're going to go on the or not, and that's important. And to use this to record in here, those who are sound in the here, there is a called camera ensemble and I will go some record of orchestra, for here, and I mean we'll pop in this side. I don't know exactly if it will happen. I might will start. No 16 for something like you're up of course. Even if it would be far away from home, you can still come. Yeah, open for and if you really want so yeah, again, for we're asking. Still here. Still here.